Viewers again, and welcome back to another album review video. In this album review I'm going to do my third Pink Floyd album review. It's the one that follows up Wish You Were Here, and it's from 1977, and it is Animals. This album is probably one of the most praised albums, definitely by music critics, because of its concept. But it's also very loved by the Pink Floyd fans. It seems more like as time has gone on, people have liked this album more. But for a start, I mean, the album cover of Battersea Power Station is probably one of the most iconic album covers there is. I mean, it's a very iconic album for Floyd. And the thing is, you kind of think that why would they decide to take photo of Battersea Power Station, but you can get into that as you go into like the story of the actual album recording and stuff like that. But it's got only 5 songs on it, like Wish You Were Here. It's bookended by a song called Pigs on the Wing. Then it goes into Dogs, Pigs, 3 different ones, and Sheep. And Dogs and Sheep were previously called Raving and Drooling and You've Got to Be Crazy, which were actually intended to be on Wish You Were Here, but they made it onto this album instead, accompanied by Pigs, 3 different ones, which was a new Roger Waters song. And the production on this album is a lot more sinister and dark, and it seems more stripped back than Wish You Were, because Wish You Were has a much more polished sound. It's much more relaxed and chilled out sound compared to this album. This album's like very like rocking album. But it's a very good album. It's an awesome album. Definitely one of my favourite Pink Floyd albums. It probably is my favourite Pink Floyd cover as well, because the thing is about the new vinyl, which I kind of like. I mean, not a lot of people don't like this, but like the image is very dark and gothic of the album cover. But like it's still quite vibrant with the new reissues. I don't know if that green light is going to show up on the camera or not, but I don't know why that is there. I don't know what it is from. Just have to ignore it. But I'm just going to go through each track, give it a score out of 10, and then give the whole album a score out of 10 as a whole. So it opens up with Pigs on the Wing. This is only like a minute and a half long. It's a nice little acoustic number by Roger Waters. It's a sort of a love song about his relationship with his wife, I guess. The lyrics are definitely inspired by his relationship with his wife and his marriage. But yeah, it's a harmless little song, but it's nothing to know. You shouldn't. Like the thing is, it is part of the album, but it's easily overshadowed by the other 3 main pieces on the album, which is what you should go to the album for. So yeah, that song will get a 6 out of 10 from me, because it's an alright song and it is counted as a track. So I'm gonna review that track, but it's an okay song. But it's just part of the album. I'd never go listen to it away from listening to the album on vinyl or something. But then it goes straight into the seriousness of Dogs, which is a 17-minute long song. Definitely my top 5 favourite Pink Floyd songs. It is among their best work. It's the only track actually credited to not only Roger Waters, it's actually credited to David Gilmour as well, because not only did he contribute a lot to the actual musical side of this song, I think he co-wrote this song with Roger Waters as well. David Gilmour gives a killer vocal performance on this song. Very hard to sing this song like David Gilmour. It's very good singing. There's actually a clip on YouTube of Roger Waters singing David Gilmour's part at the start, and then David Gilmour sings the middle part, and then Roger Waters sings the end part again. And on that version, David Gilmour actually doesn't give that strong of a vocal performance. He actually struggles to reach some of the notes, but it is very good vocals on this track. Basically, like David Gilmour sings the first half of the song, and then Roger Waters sings the second part. But to get into the story of the album and stuff, like it's roughly based off George Orwell's novel Animal Farm, and it kind of depicts the different classes of society. So dogs are like the corporate businessmen who are very wealthy and rich. The pigs are like the cruel business owners, I guess, who are like use the other people as slaves. And then there's the mindless sheep, which are like the working class, I guess, the people who just get on with it without even questioning or objecting. But to get on with the song Dogs, it's got some of David Gilmour's best guitar work, because I believe that Wish You Were Here and Animals was David Gilmour's peak guitar, because even though he had stuff like Time and other stuff on Dark Side of the Moon, and obviously he had Echoes earlier, this was him at his creative peak. And I know he had Comfortable Enough after, but this was his peak, this album. And also Wish You Were Here, but this a bit more in my opinion. But it sort of opens up with a very dark acoustic, and it, like, when the acoustic guitar comes in as the song fades in, there's Richard Wright's a keyboard accompanying it. There's those two instruments just gel so well on this track, because like when the song is when the intro's coming in, it's just so good. And also in the middle parts where there's more acoustic guitar, because it kind of comes in with David Gilmour's aggressive vocals, very, very aggressive vocals, and then it goes into a solo, and then there's more of a David Gilmour part, and then it goes into a very, very superb 5-minute keyboard solo by Richard Wright. And the thing is, you might not notice it over time because it's just a keyboard, but as it goes on and on, he keeps adding more layers to the actual keyboard solo. It's really good. And then Roger Waters sings the last part of the song, which measures about 6 minutes. It comes in at about 11 minutes, and then he's just singing until the end, and the song ends really well. But to get into the actual song, what it describes, like the lyrics here, so that's Pigs on the Wing, that's Dogs. It sort of describes like the businessmen, how they're lonely. I mean, one of the lines is, just another sad old man, all alone and dying of cancer at home. So yeah, it sort of describes how they don't really care about anybody. They don't have any like proper relationship with anybody. They're just the wealthy businessmen, I guess. Yeah. It also has repetition of the line "who was dragged down by the stone" and stuff like that. I mean, the last verse of the song is "who was born in a house full of pain." I'm not going to read it all out, to be honest. But the bottom line is, you should definitely go listen to this song. 10 out of 10 song, without a doubt. The best song on this album, in my opinion. But it is an incredible song, and it's definitely worth a listen. Definitely worth 17 minutes of your time. It took me about 20 listens to get into this song, though, I do got to tell you. And it took me a lot of listens to get into this actual album, to be honest. Just because the songs are so long, which it only makes sense, I guess. But yeah, side 1's already finished with Dogs, so it's about an 18-19 minute side. Then side 2 opens up with Pigs, 3 different ones. I used to not really like this song much at all because it seemed a bit repetitive to me, and it wasn't really that interesting to me. It does have a good guitar riff though, and it's got a good guitar solo. Roger Waters sings it quite well, but all the other songs besides Dogs are written by Roger Waters anyway. Yeah, pick 3 different ones. This is the one I'm least familiar with, but the thing is with this song is you don't have to be as familiar with it compared to Sheep and Dogs, because it's more repetitive than the other songs, but it's still actually really good. So I'd give this song a 9 out of 10, but I'm not dwelling too much time on it because I'm not too familiar with it, and it's a good song. Well, it's a brilliant song. It's a 9 out of 10, but not quite a 10 out of 10. But as the song progresses, it does get pretty interesting, and the guitar work by David Gilmour is once again fantastic. So Pigs 3 different ones sort of fades out with David Gilmour's guitar solo, and then in comes Sheep. You can kind of hear the sheep sound effects, and then in comes this 1 minute keyboard solo. And unlike the solo on Dogs is more like a it's more like just a I don't know how to describe it, underlying keyboard sound, so it's just a constant keyboard sound, whereas this, it's absolutely incredible. I can't even describe this one. You have to go listen to the first minute of this song if you want to know what I'm talking about. It is really good. This is Animals is probably Richard Wright's best work besides Dark Side of the Moon. So after Dark Side of the Moon and maybe Wish You Were Here, this is definitely his best work. But yeah, Sheep is absolutely incredible. It comes in with Richard Wright's keyboard solo, then about a minute and a half in comes Roger Waters, very aggressive vocals. So David Gilmour gives a brilliant vocal performance on Dogs, and Roger Waters does, but I think Roger Waters shines a bit more on this track because he does give a very good performance on this song. And then towards the end of the song, it comes in with one of the most climactic guitar parts in Pink Floyd's discography, probably is, because it's sort of this. The last 2 minutes are sort of this very climactic and triumphant guitar riff, which is probably it's just David Gilmour like at his peak, like I've said already. But this is an absolute 10 out of 10 song. It's about 10 minutes long, so every main piece on this album is over 10 minutes long. But all three of the pieces are worth your time. You should definitely go listen to this album as a whole. Like, not unlike some of their other albums where you should just listen to some like several songs and then just leave the rest until you get more into Floyd. This album is a very essential album. You should definitely go listen to it. It's sort of Roger Waters having a dig at the different classes in society and the political establishment of the time, because this was the late 1970s, so I'm pretty sure Margaret Thatcher is Prime Minister, and obviously she's very controversial among everybody who's lived through that time. But this album is very essential. Oh, actually, the album does close with Pigs on the Wing Part 2, because it's bookended by that piece, Pigs on the Wing. 6 out of 10. Same as the first one, I'm not going to go too much into it, but yeah, 6 out of 10. Harmless little piece again. So overall, the album is a 10 out of 10 because it's an absolutely essential Pink Floyd album. I'd probably say that after Dark Side of the Moon, this is probably the one that you should go listen to, or maybe Wish You Were Here. Sort of this or Wish You Were Here. The Wall, I'm going to get into The Wall in my next video because I've got a very obscure opinion of The Wall. I don't think it's a bad album, but I think it's a bit overrated. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get into the next video because The Wall is the next video I'm going to do. Like, not just the next Pink Floyd video, it's the next video I'm going to do, definitely. But yeah, this album, you should definitely go check it out. And I very highly recommend it. But besides that, there's nothing else much to say. This is just part of Pink Floyd's absolute classic part of their career. But this is sort of the last part of Pink Floyd where they sort of remain consistent, because I appreciate all the early Pink Floyd albums. I know a lot of people don't have time for it, they just don't really care. I appreciate every single Pink Floyd album from Piper up to Animals. Then The Wall, it's just, I'm going to get into it, but obviously you've got the final cut, A Moment of Absolute Reason, which is just, can't be asked. But then you got the Division Bell, which I really like as well, but then The Endless River is sort of, you can't really give that a high score, can you? It's just instrumental. But I don't know why I'm talking about those albums, but thank you for watching this video of my review on Animals, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.